I'm in Korea right now. I'm going to be in Vietnam next month. I don't have any residency visas. I don't have any lawyers. I just have a passport, a certain amount budgeted each month, and usually I have money left over. I'm going to show you how to do this without getting residency in any country. And it's going to be super affordable. So here's two example tracks. You can pick one, you can do both, you can mix by the season, and your Social Security check will fund either one of them. Here's the one thing that makes the budget work, and most retirement videos don't mention it. You need to look at monthly Airbnb rates. And the reason I say Airbnb is because it's the safest way to stay. You don't have to deal with hotels, you don't have to deal with locals, you don't have to worry about getting scammed. Airbnbs are always going to be safe, and you can read the reviews. You have to get them monthly to make this work. Sometimes you can get 30 to 60% off of the nightly rate if you stay for a month. So here's what I'm actually paying. I'm paying $750 a month in Daejeon, where I'm at right now. Next month when I go to Da Nang, Vietnam, I'm going to be paying $650 a month. And that $650 is for a nice studio apartment, full kitchen, bathroom, about 5 blocks from the beach. When I was in Medellín, Colombia, I was paying about $850, and that was a little high, but that was right in the center of the best area in the city. So when you commit to the month, the host gives you a real rate because they don't have to deal with cleaning and trying to fill it up and all that. And one tip with Airbnbs, make sure that you get free cancellation. Do not book a room that only gives you 48 hours to cancel. Free cancellation will give you up to a month before, and you'll get all your money back. I do want to say before I get started that these are just examples. This is actually what I am doing, and this is what I actually did in the Americas. But you can pick and choose any countries you want because most of them have this flexibility where you can go in for at least 60 or 90 days or longer. I'm going to take you through what I'm doing right now in Asia and then what I did in the past. So as an American, most Asian countries let you in with pretty much zero paperwork. You land, you get a stamp, you're good. So you're probably asking, why am I in Korea? Well, I do have a good reason. My son has been here for 8 years, so I came over to visit him, but I really like Korea. So Korea isn't even on most people's radar, and I think that's a mistake, and I discovered that by coming here. So when you enter, you get 90 days visa-free. You need a KETA, is a multi-year travel authorization that is currently waived, but that will start at the end of the year. But that's $7 and a 10-minute online form. So pretty easy for sure. Now I will say this, I've been to Daejeon, I've been to Busan, and I've been to Seoul. And I would choose Daejeon because Seoul is a lot more expensive, but if you're looking for somewhere that speaks a lot more English, that would be Seoul. And Busan is a really nice beach city as well. But Daejeon has about 1.5 million people. It's modern, clean. It has an excellent subway, and it's probably the cheapest city in all of Korea. So right now, my monthly Airbnb is $750. Groceries for myself, probably $250 a month. I eat out probably 3-4 times a week. The average meal costs like $6 to $10. So I'm probably spending $1,200 a month here. And let me tell you, I spent 20 years as a hospital CEO. South Korea's healthcare system is genuinely world class. A doctor visit's like $5 to $15. I'm getting my teeth cleaned tomorrow. It's $30. And most of them are walk-in and they see you right away. So if you had a Social Security check at $1,900, you would definitely have $400 to $600 left over if you stayed a month in Daejeon. So I can stay in Korea for 90 days. After this, mid-July, I'm going to go to Vietnam. And you can stay in Vietnam up to 3 months, and then you can actually just do a border run and stay another 3 months in Vietnam if you want. So I'm going to Da Nang. It's a beach city. It has an international airport. It's very modern. It's large enough to have everything you need, very easy to navigate, and super safe. And Vietnam is probably the cheapest country in all of Asia. So like I said, I'm paying about $700 for a really nice apartment 5 blocks from the beach, right in the center of everything. A typical lunch in Vietnam costs like $2 or $3. You can get a hamburger, fries, and a drink for $6 if you want American food. You can get pizza, you can get it all. So a lot of travelers, a lot of Americans use Vietnam as one of their stops. Thailand is another good option. It is becoming more and more popular. So Chiang Mai is full of temples and is just this great city, and it's not filled with all these tourists yet. They just cut their visa-free window from 60 days to 30 days for Americans. So you can go in for 30 days, then you can go to the immigration office and get another 30 days. So you can stay in Thailand for 60 days. So for me, Thailand is a good 30-day to 60-day stop. 30 days is easy because you don't have to deal with going to the immigration office. And here's another option. Some people like to have a home base. So you can get a residency in Thailand pretty easy. So that could be your home base and you could travel back and forth. That's always an option to have another residency, such as in Thailand or the Philippines. You could have an apartment, you could have a permanent dwelling and then travel around if you want. But I like the idea to be able to move around because I was tied down in my job during my whole career. Now, spending 2-3 months in locations and traveling around is just perfect for me. Thailand has this great visa. It's called the non-OA visa. So you have to have like $23,000 in a Thai bank account and then about $1,900 a month in income. But that will get you a residency in Thailand. And you can definitely stay a month in Chiang Mai for $1,200 to $1,500 easily and have money left over. In this graphic, I just put a example year-long rotation. You could be in Vietnam for a few months. Then you could go to Korea or Japan. Japan's another option to stop in. You can get 90 days in Japan. You could stop back in Thailand. You could go to South Korea again. You could go to the Philippines. Or you could just pick 2 countries. It's totally up to you. And I just budgeted $100 a month for flights because local flights, especially if you're using a budget carrier, are really cheap. But remember, this does not cover your flights back and forth to the US if you're going to do that. So before we get back to the Americas, if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button. I talk about expat travel, how to save money, Medicare, Social Security, everything that affects our age group. So subscribe, love for you to join our journey, and hit that like button. That always helps. So you move back to the Americas. What is nice about that is if something comes up at home, family, medical, anything, you're really a short flight away. I've taken the flight from Panama City to Miami. It's about 3 hours. The flight from Panama City to Medellín I've taken is an hour and a half. And it's all pretty close. So let's start in Panama. So I spent 5 months in Panama City. Panama does make it pretty easy for Americans to go there. You can go there for 6 months without a visa. 6 months on a single entry with your passport. No other country gives you that. Panama uses the dollar. I spent time in Panama City because it's a big city. I like the city life, but it comes with some safety concerns. If you're going to stay in the city, you probably need to budget around $2,000 a month or more. I covered Panama City in a different video, and it's definitely more expensive than what you see in other people's videos. But it is possible to spend $1,500 a month there. So they have a great visa, the Pensionado visa. It's probably one of the best in the world. You just prove that you make $1,000 a month in pension or Social Security, and you qualify, permanent residency. So this could be a good home base for you if you want to travel to different areas. But I can tell you, it is hot and humid every day. After my time in Panama, I flew down to Medellín, Colombia, spent a month there. Medellín's weather is absolutely amazing. It's called the City of Eternal Spring. It's like 75 degrees and sunny every day. It is absolutely beautiful weather. Enter 90 days visa free. You can extend for another 90 days if you want, so you could stay 6 months. So one thing worth noting, if you spend more than 183 days in Colombia in a rolling 12-month period, you become a Colombian tax resident, so you don't want to do that. And where would I go? Definitely Medellín, specifically El Poblado or Laureles. It has modern infrastructure, it has a big expat community, and it has tourist police because Colombia isn't the safest place in the world, but if you stay in the right areas, it's pretty safe. And you can definitely live on $1,400 a month. And that's getting a $900 Airbnb. The food is incredibly cheap. The food is incredibly varied, actually. Colombian food is one thing, but they have every international food there. Spanish helps, but you can get away without it. But my thoughts on that is just learning a little bit of the language really helps a lot, because then you can at least read the signs and have an idea of what people are saying. So after Medellín, I went to Cuenca, Ecuador. First thing to say is Cuenca is at 8,500 feet altitude, so it does take a little bit of time to get used to the altitude, but it took me 3 or 4 days. I wasn't sick, I was just kind of fatigued. It's kind of funny though, because it's almost like the hippies of the 70s all went to Cuenca, but super nice people. And there's a couple restaurants where all the American expats hang out, and trust me, I had the shortest hair there. It was definitely the 70s look. You can enter Ecuador for 90 days without a visa. They use the US dollars. Where should you go? Definitely Cuenca. Ecuador is not the safest country. So you want to avoid Quito, you want to avoid Guayaquil, but Cuenca is probably the safest place. It's a UNESCO World Heritage City in the Andes. It's a very cool place. And it's very affordable. I was paying $750 a month for a pretty nice Airbnb, and everything else is pretty cheap there. So you could definitely stay there for $1,300 a month. And I had the chance to eat cuy. So if you know what that is, drop it in the comments. And if you want to rotate between Panama, Colombia, and Ecuador, you could easily do it for your $1,900 Social Security check and have money left over. And if you didn't want to go to one of these cities, Merida, Mexico is another super safe city that you could put in the rotation. But these three right here are pretty close, so the flights are cheaper. But you could definitely go to Merida, Mexico. You could definitely go to San Cristobal, Mexico, Mexico City. There's all kinds of options. This is just kind of a general format showing that you do not have to go through the rigor of getting a residency somewhere in order to retire abroad. I do want to say, if your Social Security check, say, is $1,900 a month and it's barely covering what you need, it's really not a Social Security issue. It's a cost of living problem. The United States is just so expensive. I'm not saying that you don't deserve more, because you do. But there are strategies in order to live really well on your Social Security, and you don't have to go through the process of getting a lawyer, doing a residency, getting all these documents, all that. I was going to do it. I actually started the process in Ecuador and decided I don't want to stay in one country. And the Airbnb strategy, like I'm telling you, is perfect. I don't have any affiliation with Airbnb. I've used it for 4 years and it works perfect. I hope this helped. I hope it gave you some new ideas. If you're thinking about this, would you do the Asia? Would you do the Americas? Or would you do both? Let me know in the comments. If you want more of this information, hit that subscribe button. But I would love to hear if you're actually going to do this or not, or even considering it. Take care.